Welcome to What is Enough, Part 6. So by now, if you've gone through these straight in a multi-hour marathon, maybe your shift in your thinking is the one change that you've started to have happen. If you've taken your time with this, if you've been very intentional, maybe you've gone through it once or twice, hopefully something is starting to change in you. Look back on the answers in your workbook. Keep tracking those expenses in your make versus spend. And always pay attention to what you're coming to understand. Again, there's information that you're receiving. That information becomes knowledge when you start applying it. Once you've applied it over time, there's certain wisdom, and ultimately you'll come to your own understanding that will be unique to you, just as your own fulfillment is always going to be unique to you. Now let's look at step 8, the freedom point. What's the freedom point? When you're doing your make versus spend exercise, if the make line is going up or staying the same, or the spend line is going down or staying the same, you'll start to notice something that's happening. If you made $5,000 this month and spent $3,000, there's $2,000 left over. And on this particular month, that $2,000 gets added to your savings. The beauty of savings is money can earn money, and it can earn money without your direct involvement. It can earn it through dividends, through interest, through compounding over time. But when you save money, you're starting to prepare for yourself a time when a future self doesn't have to work as hard or has the luxury of making changes and making decisions that aren't based on money. When that savings line from non-work exceeds the green spending line, that is traditionally what's called financial independence. It doesn't mean you stop working. That's a common misunderstanding. Financial independence means you work because you choose to work, not because you have to work. And that's a place many people seek to live. So the first aspect of finished, when you look at the PenFin, is that the experience of well-being has nothing to do with the money that you have now. So when you're finished, this process is such, it isn't I've made so much money that I don't have to work anymore. In a way, there's a sense of well-being because you're living from that place of being and fulfillment. It's a place of fiscal bliss. You know what's right for you. The money that you make is what you want to make for yourself. It's in alignment with your integrity, your goals. You steer your success by what you've chosen to accomplish, and you arrive because you say you've arrived. If you're ever waiting for someone else to tell you you've arrived, you'll always be dependent on their goals, their objectives. If you don't have an idea of what arriving looks like, you'll never be able to say to yourself, I have arrived. I am here now where I'd like to be. And that's not a static place. There's no arriving and just arriving and you're done. Arriving, much like a nothing, is a constant changing process. But the experience of having passive interest income that exceeds your work and your spending is an optional aspect of this. You don't have to. If you're fulfilled by your work, you don't have to have money to not work. To the extent you're able to work, you'll always be able to take care of yourself. And as long as you're spending at this place where you have enough and you're happy with what you have, this is your freedom point. When you know what is enough for you, the finish becomes finite. It becomes achievable. It's like when you're eating a meal. Don't you know when you've had enough? Do you need to ask someone, should I eat more food? Or do you find yourself saying, that's enough? Now, do you go back for a second plate just because you want more food? Maybe that's when food becomes a luxury. Do you starve yourself because you're afraid that there's not enough food and you remain hungry? That's also something very different. What we're saying is living is a lot like eating a meal. You know in the work that you do that you've done enough work, and you know that you've made enough money. But to do that, you have to define for yourself what is enough. If you don't do that, it will always be more. And therefore, you'll never stop working for money. You can't stop working for money. Many people think that if I make enough money to where I don't have to work, I'll just sit around and be relaxed and be blissed out. But laziness doesn't last either. It has the same law of diminishing returns. Lying on a couch is a wonderful experience on a Sunday afternoon, but lie on a couch for a day or a week or 2 weeks, you'll be dying to get up and do something. So the natural order is that we move, we work, we contribute. So what do we want to do? We want to do that in a way that's fulfilling, that we're paid well for the money that we earn, that we value our own effort, and that we spend money with a conscious awareness. Peter Lynch, it's a great story in Time magazine. It was called The Simple Life, and it was about Peter Lynch. At 47 years old, he was building Fidelity Magellan into a $13 billion giant. His daughter was 7, and one morning he realized he did not know her at all, and he quit his job almost immediately. He didn't quit to not work again. He simply quit something that was no longer fulfilling. It wasn't aligned with his ability and desire to know his daughter, to coach Little League, and to work differently. When you're working full time, peace and quiet can seem like one more thing to go do. And so you have to incorporate that into your life through meditation, through planned breaks. Every day, asking yourself, what would make my story today more interesting, more fulfilling for me? You don't have to answer to anyone else. When you look at the fulfillment curve and we get to that point of enough, which is really, as we said, the point of a nothing, when you're there, you'll find there's a sense of purpose, responsibility, accountability. There's an internal yardstick. You'll measure against yourself and not others, and you'll feel financially independent because you have a peace of mind. You may desire to be out of debt. You may desire a certain level of savings. You may desire certain skills you want to develop, a community you want to be a part of, an income that you want to earn. But it will be from a place of financial independence and something that supports you in being who you want to be, not you trying to be someone that you're not. It takes time, and you've got time. You're here on the planet for as long as you're going to be on the planet. So why are we here to begin with? Is it possible that we're all here to figure out what our enough is based on our unique situation? We're not Elon Musk. We're not Bill Gates, many of us. So the chances of our being enough as being billions of dollars, we don't know that they're fulfilled. And we don't even have to care. We just need to know, are we fulfilled? Buckminster Fuller said, we're called to be the architects of our future, not its victim. When you're at a place of enough, you actually choose how you want to participate in your life, because now, by saying to yourself, I have enough, I am enough, I do enough, I can participate actively, not from a place of fear, but a place of active participation. So how do you get to this location of enough? Again, we've shared along the way, it's simply about paying attention, being aware of your own needs. But we started out looking at the financial dynamics. In real estate, location is your house. But cash and cash flow as we said, is a personal look at how do we make money? Where does that money flow over time? Is it all being spent now? Can it grow over time? Absolutely. So to the extent we pay attention to what we make versus what we spend, we will have money left over. And when we have money left over, we can start looking at investing and saving that money. We'll have to be aware of the safety of where we save that money to avoid loss. We'll have to look at the liquidity. How do we have access and use and control of that money when we need it? And what kind of return do we want on that money for any risk that we're going to take? Much like you value your own life energy in the making of that money, you want to be safe in how you deploy that money so that it can grow over time to be there if and or when you need it in the future. Again, it's your life energy, but that life energy that you've provided can compound and grow over time. In the PenFin worksheet, and again, it's not an exhaustive look, but it's certainly a fun way to think about and plan. After you do your worksheet for your net worth, go through and look at and experiment with the income you want to replace, the income you think you'll have from Social Security and savings, the money that you think you'll have or that you may have a shortfall or need. You're really trying to get a feel for, am I on track for what it is I'd like to have in my future when it comes to the money that I've earned and the money I'm putting away? I really recommend a financial professional to help you through this part of the journey. When you get aligned with what you're doing and the value that you're earning and the money that you're earning and the fulfillment that you want from the money that you make, and you start saving, again, take the time to learn how to save or partner with someone that can help you build that cushion for the future. Again, this is really simple. Most of it is simple. It's not easy. So it takes time, it takes a little bit of effort, and that's why maybe a lot of people don't take the time to do this stuff. So who will be your guide? There are many maps that you can build on a financial journey. You can be self-directed, and that means you're learning and you're managing the stuff for yourself, or you can be advisor-directed. And that's where you're looking, for example, for a financial advisor to help you with financial decisions. It could also be a lender, a liability advisor to help you manage your liability planning over time. But ask yourself, what brings you the most peace? Is doing it yourself and learning to do it fulfilling? Then heck, take the time, learn, and see if you feel comfortable doing it yourself and see if it is fulfilling. Or is working with a professional as a guide to help you with this part of the journey when it comes to savings. But the more awareness you bring to what brings fulfillment to you, the more you learn about how you value your time and your energy, the more you will start to create a gap between the making and the spending. And as that gap grows, there'll be more opportunities for you to save for the future. So stay engaged, develop your map as you travel, make your own path. There is no path. The path that you make is made by walking. Save early, keep your expenses as low as possible, and get quality advice along the way. So your final homework, again, review any answers from the workbook, manage your cash, chart your make versus spend, grow the savings as much as you can, and watch for small changes. Watch for little taps of progress. Contact a liability advisor and a financial advisor. Build a team of people around you that can help you save wisely over time. Increase and build your savings. So make any notes down here, any goals or dreams that you have, maybe things that have been stirred in you from this particular series. Keep charting that make versus spend. And know for yourself what the finite looks like. At what point can you say, I am truly working because I choose to work, not because I have to. And thanks for engaging with us on this journey. There's resources at our Facebook page where we're constantly posting ideas. There's more education on knife.org, like the CALM, the Cash and Liability Mastery class. I really recommend reading your money or your life. There are many great examples there on how to extend your own awareness when it comes to the money, the energy, the time, the fulfillment in your life. Best of luck.